Welcome to this meeting of the Cemetery Board. I'm Dan Sugar, Rosanna Rosada's designee as chair.
Paul Ambrose, representing Commissioner Howard Zucker of the Department of Health.
And Christopher Wiles, representing the Office of the Attorney General.
Louis Polishuk, Director, Division of Cemeteries.
Chet Buckwitz, Assistant Director, Division of Cemeteries.
Mike Seelman, Senior Investigator, Division of Cemeteries.
Joe Ambrose, Associate Accountant, Division of Cemeteries.
Tony Melillo, Counsel to the Cemetery Board.
Great. Okay. Well, have folks had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yes.
Did you get them the revised
I,
minutes?
yeah, they have not gotten it, but
It's just an addition at the end, Paul. We didn't change
Right.
anything else.
no, the
Okay.
first
Everything else
2.5
is the same.
pages is fine.
Yeah.
Even a third page, except for the motion out of executive session.
Okay, so we neglected to put the motion
That is correct.
past minutes.
Right.
I'm glad somebody caught that because I did.
That would be Tony.
Yep, thank you, Tony.
I have a change on that already.
All right. Okay. I had a couple changes, actually. Greenwood Cemetery.
Yeah.
First, this one was incorporated by, I would just say acts of the legislature, not several acts. And then I would say, instead of but it never filed its certificate of incorporation, I would say it now wishes to file certificate of incorporation with the department. That's it. Another change, and it's all technical in terms of language.
Go ahead.
Whispering Maples. I'm not sure what the board took up separately meant, so I just say continuing its abandoned cemetery or their abandoned cemetery application. The towns of.
Wait. Where?
Whispering Maples.
Continuing.
Is it there? Was it a combined? I forget the posture of it. That's a combined application, right? For both
Yeah.
towns.
Yes.
Yeah. So continuing their abandoned cemetery application, comma, the towns of Plattsburgh, requested, instead of for, requested funds. All right. That's it. That constitutes my changes. Got any?
No.
I have none.
Wow, okay.
Might want to clean up the new language on the
Oh, you want us to read that?
out of.
I had one
During
change to that.
executive session,
During
motion
I
is
did it.
Adopted concerning.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, okay.
adopted.
Yeah,
Then just take out everything to, and then lowercase t, motion unanimously adopted to delegate to the administrative law judge for hearing.
Yeah.
It's not judicial. The matter of central crematory.
fine.
Hearing to be noticed and held in accordance with the rules of the Department of State.
And while we had matter of imposed penalty for central crematory.
Okay.
Just, that is what it's about.
Right.
Very good. All right. Do I have a motion on the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. All right, Mr. Melillo, legislation.
Nothing to report. There were two bills that passed related to cemeteries, the Greenwood Cemetery Bill and the Reclamation Bill. Neither one either has made it to the governor's desk or been signed.
Okay. See what happens. Division report.
A couple things. Thing number one, I had a whole list of things I was going to talk about. Of course, I forgot them. Thing
Good.
number one is that we are doing an internal process that is related to, but somewhat distinct from, the department's lean initiatives. It's sort of making more processes more efficient to try to improve and simplify our annual report form. I think we've made some very good progress on it, and I should hopefully have more to report to y'all at the next month, where I actually share the redraft with you.
Great.
But
Okay.
should be should make things much easier in terms of filing for most cemeteries.
Has that been passed around? Yeah,
Hasn't
or
made
is
it,
it
has been
just
just
division right
within
now?
the division so far, because we're working with folks within the department but outside the division on this root cause analysis process,
Okay.
which is a management technique like Lean to figure out why things go wrong
All right, well, we'll share it for comment
and how to improve them. So we'll be sharing that soon.
Okay.
We'll be, the department now requires each of its divisions to have a strategic operating plan. We have one. And we are working on a plan for implementation of the goals set out therein.
I'm sure it's very strategic.
Yeah, I mean, the two big things we're working on are getting more outreach up, well, three big things. Sorry, two big things for that, and then one more thing to report. Big things for that are doing more outreach and trying to, this was Joe's brilliant idea, instead of just approaching towns to try to get them to provide municipal assistance to struggling cemeteries, we're going to try to start calculating a struggling cemetery's average deficit and say, listen, for $6,000 a year, you will make ends meet for the cemetery and you don't have to take it. So where it can be, where the issue is financial in nature, we're hopefully going to be able to quantify it. And instead of asking a town for unspecified and potentially unlimited assistance, we'll then be in the position of showing them that all they need to do is provide X for next year or two. And hopefully this will help, especially for the smallest ones, help avoid abandonment. One other thing to report is that we have gotten the comptroller's report on division. The comptroller audited the division on its oversight of cemeteries. They've made a couple of recommendations. The main one is to update our various procedure manuals. We've already began that before they got here, and we're working our way through that. And the other two other recommendations. One was that we have a central repository of all of our data because of software issues. Some of it's in legacy databases and some of it's in access databases, and we're making remarkable progress.
Let's say here for that. Yeah.
We're making remarkable progress in moving everything into a combination of SharePoint and Access.
Correct. Yeah.
That's great.
Which, with the right technology, because it's now cloud-based, will allow our staff to access this stuff remotely in the field, which would be a big help. And then they sort of made a general comment about trying to provide support for struggling cemeteries, which we, of course, do.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. Chat.
Yes. For the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2018, vandalism fees collected were $113,720. Application granted total of $242,594. Applications pending total of $847,926. Of the applications granted, all of them were for restoration of hazardous monumentation, which was 8.
We're treating Whispering separately?
That is correct, sir.
All right.
Question?
Yeah.
I noticed there's several on there that are dated back to 2016. I was wondering about the one that's,
Chat.
Pardon? Which one?
there are several applications that are dated back to 2016, and I was wondering what the status of closing them out might be, especially one going back to July
Periodically,
and August.
yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but periodically, Mike Seelman contacts the investigatory staff to follow up with the cemeteries. Correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes it's a matter of getting the two appraisals, or if there are other concerns, estimates rather, and such matters like that.
What's the
But-
specific one that you're?
We have,
Lexington Village.
there are 5 of them, actually.
Yeah.
There's an abandoned one in Moores for Riverside. There's Milford Cemetery, Westport Hillside Cemetery, Lexington Village Cemetery, and then the Southampton one. I know that one's a little unusual in that they went ahead and did the work, and we're kind of figuring out whether we can back into it.
Okay.
Generally, though, if it's more than 2 or 3 months, we're waiting for information from the cemetery, and usually that information is proper estimates.
Southampton's on us, but it's an unusual situation because they send in the application and immediately did the work to fix it,
Okay.
which they shouldn't do.
Right.
Folks out there in TV land, let us come and see it first.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Vandalism, abandoned, dangerous waters. Let's see. I don't understand Oakwood Cemetery shows 48,000, approximately 48,000 in, well, it's not reimbursement, in grant, but the low bid was 2120. Am I missing something?
So what Oakwood does is they bid the foundations.
Okay,
So they bid against another
I got
contractor,
that.
and they came in lower. So you're really looking at 20, so the Grethen Carler
right,
is 20,120.
yep,
That's to remove the monument, and then after Oakwood does their work, reset the monument.
oh, so they're
Is
doing
Oak-
the resetting.
Right.
Right.
So,
So it's
and Oakwood's,
just doing the foundation
Oh, okay.
based on their approved foundation.
I missed it.
So it's two
Okay.
separate things.
Gotcha.
But I only see the bids
Yeah, I didn't-
for the non-Oakwood work. Where are the competing bids for Oakwood's work?
That was based, I can double check that, Len's not here, Len's local, but
By the way,
it's
we've only
based on
required-
their approved charge.
We've only required one competing bid for where they're doing their
Yeah,
own
that's
work.
what we have.
So,
What-
yeah,
what
it's
you
just not,
said
it's
is-
just not listed here.
And we didn't include how they arrived at their 27.9. And we can go back and double check and make sure that's based on their approved foundation charge.
Right, but we'd also want to, we should really have included
Show
the
what the
competing
competing
bid to show that in fact that's lower.
You want to just table this then? Just
No,
table it?
I
Or are
mean,
you gonna, I can do a conditional.
We can double check that next week, and,
I'm sure Len did check.
yeah, I'm sure too.
All right,
It's
we'll
just
do
not here to say it.
I'll phrase a conditional grant on that one. Any other questions on the, the tripping hazard, Bower, Maplewood? Got pics?
I've got a pick.
A pic.
Check.
You're looking at Maplewood
Yeah.
with the 75-year warranty?
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's
I love it.
Can I get a 75-year
said-
warranty on something?
Nobody's gonna be around.
Finally.
That's funny.
I thought that would catch your attention.
So this is that's the monument that's down, and it's fallen over across this, that's a better picture of it.
Right.
So it's fallen onto somebody else's
Now,
grave.
what if it was something to be moved to the back of the grave?
That's a possibility, or even
because-
dispose of, for that matter.
Because right now, I mean, our policy has been that it's not dangerous if it's fallen. Right? So, and this is for the board. I mean, I'm not actually sure about this, but if it's fallen, then the only reason that it's a problem is because, well, it's on somebody else's grave, right? But also, okay, it's in the path of circumlocution, so it's a tripping hazard. But if it's not in that path, then it's not a problem.
What we have suggested and has been approved in the past is if it falls into a mapped pathway
Okay?
where people are trying to access another grave, it's gonna create the tipping hazard, or if it's fallen off of the lot. So generally, this lot is their lot is gonna be, the lot line's probably there somewhere. So if it had fallen on that lot, someone wouldn't have to cross over that
Right.
to get to their lot.
And that would be, so, okay, so,
But what you're saying is if that were moved as
Right.
opposed to being reset, my guess would be it'd probably be close to the same price. However, it would never fall again and create an issue. I understand that as well. So I can get back to them with that.
Why would we take a different, why is it a different position if a monument's dangerous because it's like this, as opposed to it's dangerous because it's like this?
is it dangerous? If it's moved to the right place, it's not dangerous. That's the
Right,
point.
but you could but that would be equally true of the monuments that are like this. You could just lower them. In all cases.
Well, no, but dangerous monument gets repaired, all right?
Agreed.
You don't put it on the ground,
Agreed.
all right? This has already fallen. Our policy has been, if the monument's already down, it ain't a dangerous monument anymore.
Generally speaking, correct.
But I understand your
But
argument
this
is that,
one
but
here,
it
it's a
is
trip
dangerous
hazard.
because it's a trip hazard, but I say, well, if you move it 2 feet across the buck, then it's not a trip hazard anymore.
If we're going to spend the money
But-
to do something
but-
with it, we should
but-
put it back up.
Don't even have to go there, I don't think, based upon your assertion, which that's gonna cost just about as much to move it. I don't really care. Might as well reset it because, at least I think, because then it won't be a hazard anymore. But, any,
I have no problem.
okay, all right. So for now, I'll forget this discussion in 3 months, come back to it again. All right, any other questions, concerns, discussion?
I noticed there's only a 10-year warranty specified on the Green Hills Cemetery. I thought we were going to ask for a minimum of 20 years and have them price it as such. No?
My last recollection was 10 years.
That was
Yeah.
mine,
Was
too.
it 10?
It was
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
than
that
we-
was mine, too.
10
Our
years,
thought was
10 years
we
is
could
nothing
do
in the
10
life of a
years
cemetery.
Freeze thaw cycle.
Yeah, but
I think
Warranty
the
isn't worth-
discussion was that if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen in the
Yeah.
first 10 years.
Okay.
Right.
I'll even in the first 5 years.
yeah,
I did ask Division on the Green Hill Cemetery hazardous application that they bring in the pictures of the 6 that Len said are undersized, just so the board could make its own decision as whether they should be excluded or not.
you assumed the board had an interest.
Yeah, I know.
We'll take a look at the pictures, though.
So, and the report did not reflect them. Wait a second, that's okay.
That's Oakland.
Specifically,
Bernie.
got it here somewhere.
This is.
They were
Green
undersized,
Hills.
small monuments. I imagine they're very small. But that was a good call, Tony.
So there's 6 monuments that,
They have some stickers on it too, behind.
yeah, they all do, but that's,
Oh, okay.
I had it right here. See, there we go. I know I have them because I just looked at them this morning.
Okay? No pressure.
Two in a folder.
I know.
You want to,
Well, I just had them, so I know.
They're not downstairs.
Pardon?
You think they're not downstairs, right, Mike?
I don't believe they are. If you give me a second, I'll run down. If, I know right where they would be. Oh, never mind.
aha.
Never mind. All right, there's 6 monuments that he excluded based on them being too small. That is one of them. The idea being that if it's that small, it's not going to fall over and topple. It's probably about that high.
Yeah, that's a,
In the past, we've, when we go out and look at them, say if this was on a, let's say it was next to a road or a pathway, and it was, 6 feet above where someone's gonna be walking, it could topple down.
Sure.
But, that's probably a knee-high monument. We generally tell them waist-high unless there's some specific reason.
how much does that weigh, do you think? Couple 100 pounds?
Oh, at least.
So do you think it might be dangerous anyway?
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
Dangerous to a child
There's a
walking
little
by the
kid,
poles on it,
little girl, little boy, whatever. Break a leg.
or pushes
I
it
mean-
over another child.
I
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
mean,
you brought
yeah,
that up. Huh?
Albany Rural.
or Albany Rural, you know, the kid's allowed to run around and bumps into a spot, even a small one, bad things happen.
Are they all, are all monuments about
Yeah,
that?
if you look at the,
These
so
are
that's
all
number two.
small?
No, just this one.
Oh.
Just that one. The rest we've looked at. Number right there. That monument probably doesn't weigh 50 pounds, either of these two. So those are very small, thin.
Yeah,
cabinets.
that's what I assumed they all were, actually. You know, the old, real old ones. I don't think they're gonna do any damage to anybody.
And then there's another one in here that's a classic slant monument right there. That's probably 18 inches tall.
Okay.
I generally recommend against those.
Right.
Unless it's elevated above a pathway where it could fall and topple or something like that.
I buy that, but I have, so is that the only,
Yeah,
is
there's
the only,
six. Yeah.
there's six, so this is 1, 2, 3, where's the other one?
Let's see, there's number 2, which was the first one we looked at. 32 and 33. 35
And,
and 36.
okay,
slant.
36 is the slant, that's,
And that 35 is very similar to number 2.
right. What do you guys think? I mean,
And just so you know, when we do this, we discuss it with the cemetery and say, I don't think that's hazardous. And if they make a case for it being hazardous, certainly we're going to err on the side of,
right,
or not err, but defer to them. And then they're notified.
I see the pictures, fine.
Notified.
having looked at the pictures, what do you guys think?
I think I'd go along with what Mike has agreed with the cemetery on. I mean, yeah, you're always gonna get hurt if something happens, but we can't anticipate everything.
Although I am a little concerned about those two monuments that are yay high, that weigh 300 pounds, right?
I agree with you, Dan. This one here in particular
The
looks
little
pretty
ones,
scary.
I mean, I actually, I'm thinking that we should include those two monuments, not the others. An 18-inch monument is not our concern.
Where are those again, Mike?
The first one was number 2, so it's at the very beginning. Well, the other way.
Help us, help us.
Oh, I see.
So 32 and 33 are those two. Those
Yeah,
are very small numbers.
Very small, we're not concerned. So where's the first one you showed us?
Going back.
I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
Back one more. Number 2.
And that you say is about,
Well,
You
this is
think.
Len's, and if Len were here, he'd have a better description of it, but that's my take on it.
so, 3 feet high,
I don't think it's 3 feet.
2.5 feet high, 2.5 and 300 pounds.
Possibly.
Dan, can I make a suggestion since Len's not even here?
Yeah, why don't we just,
Why don't you approve
I'm gonna approve it, and
everything
we're gonna
but
send it back
those,
for
and
those-
then we'll wait
those,
and
yeah.
withhold judgment on those.
Well, you could have.
So that we can sign this board order
Yeah,
now
I agree.
as it exists.
I understand.
No, I'm just saying that way Chet doesn't have to run downstairs and fix things.
And to be
But I
clear,
want-
he's adjusted the estimates to reflect
what I really
the 6
care about.
coming off.
Yeah, I know.
The cemeteries agreed to
Yeah,
that.
right.
So the approval would be based on it is with the idea that we could actually come back the following board meeting.
What would happen if we declined to authorize the restoration or the writing of one of these, and something were to happen?
Yeah, it's bad.
Is there any
Well,
liability to the state?
No, I don't think there's any liability.
I wouldn't
don't
wanna
think-
read about it in the paper.
Yeah, I'm not that concerned. I'm concerned with doing the right thing. Are they dangerous or not? I mean, there's always judgment, but I know that an 18-inch monument that is cantered is not dangerous, all right? That weighs 30 pounds or 50 pounds. All right, something like this, which may be 3 feet high or 2.5 feet high, which may weigh 300 pounds, I think that could be dangerous. But what I think we can do is have Len go back, or at least tell us what it is that he's viewing, because we really can't tell in the pictures. And then if we think it's dangerous, or if Len says, you know what, yeah, that could
So
be
are
dangerous.
the conditions for approval documented anywhere in a policy statement of some kind that we can refer to and say, this is clearly outside of the policy that has been agreed upon, or I know it's within.
Remember those
Yeah.
manuals I said we were revising?
We have a letter with guidelines, and generally, it's waist high or higher, so 36 inches, or loose, or tipping.
But you don't have weight as a variable in
There's
there,
not
or
really
factor.
any way to, figure that out.
What's the difference here, Mike,
Well, I think this
between
is,
these two?
it's hard to tell from a photo, but that's much thicker,
Okay,
and it appears to be much larger to me than that one.
yeah. So why is this dangerous and this isn't?
Because it's taller and likely heavier.
Oh, taller, heavier, smaller.
So what we're really questioning
Yeah.
is the policy
No,
that's been set
it's-
forth by the division. It says it's got to be 3.5 feet. What's that?
Regardless
3.5
of
feet
weight.
tall?
Well, but
Yeah.
it's the same, I mean,
Reg-
so when I go into a cemetery and look, if I see a slant marker that's that high, and if you look at a
Responsible in something. What happens?
So a lot of this is, physics comes into it. If it's got a very large base
Yeah.
and all the weight is down low and it's relatively stable, I mean, I'm making like this. All that weight's down low. That's a
Yeah,
slant
I
marker.
can see that. Yeah.
So you look at that, you can probably put your hand on it and see whether or not it's going to tip. But the likelihood of that tipping is very low, and the likelihood of someone being there, it could hurt. It could fall and break someone's foot or something like that. Something like this, we see monuments like that. This one seems to be tipping this way. If I see a monument that's 3 feet wide by a foot, the base is, and it's tipping sideways, it looks terrible. But based on physics, it's not going to fall over sideways. But if it's tipping into the disturbed grave, it's very dangerous and it's going to fall. So when we go out, we're not assessing it based on the appearance, because those look terrible tipping sideways. You'll lean on it and see if it's going to move, and then you discuss it with the cemetery or with the contractor if they're there, and then we come to an agreement.
So it's idiosyncratic. I mean, basically, they have broad guidelines that they've come to their own conclusions on, but obviously, they're going to have to evaluate each monument on its own.
What I can say is, and when I read this report, my thought was we did need a better description of those monuments. We'll send a letter to them outlining which monuments were removed, just so everybody's clear.
Okay.
But we can, if we ever remove a monument, we can just put much more information in there.
All right, what I would recommend is that, because we have no problem with the monuments that were approved and set forth in the order, is that we approve the order, and the division's going to come back next month and brief us on the status of the monuments that were removed. We'll make a decision on those then. Okay, so, that having been said, any further discussion on any of these? All right, no. Have a motion?
I'll move to approve all of the hazardous monument applications, which consist of 5. Maplewood, Green Hill, Jacksonville, Oakwood, and Baptist.
Sounds good to me. What the heck, I'll second for a change.
All right?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I just made a comment. I said, "Oh, geez, I better second." Okay. Yeah, all right. Willowbrook, which was
It's back.
is back, and I didn't. The return on this. Well, I tell you what, division. Whoever's going to make an application to us, whoever's going to give us a rundown, please do.
Joe?
The return is rather low, but they've got their money in CDs, and I think the highest one was 1%. I think the overall return in permanent maintenance is 0.75 or something. They have sold out of their other unit that they built, so. and
They have 10 left, right? Or is it sold out now?
I think they've got like 2.
Okay.
So, while it is a low return, it's probably better than what they're going to get in their.
Do they have room to increase prices?
That probably would be a good idea.
I mean, I don't know enough about what's around there and what they're charging. But that's something we could work with them in the future on a little bit, if not right now.
This is a difficult application because they're taking 1/3 of their PM, right?
Yes.
They're taking 1/3 of the PM, and the return is like, I know they, what do they say, 13 years? I think it's more, the last one took 18 years to sell out. All right, and that's,
It's a chance for a marginal return.
I mean, one thing that doesn't take into account is that if a cemetery doesn't have this product to offer, fewer people are going to come in the door and possibly buy other things as well.
yeah, they don't, do they have a crematory?
They do not. And the last thing we need is more crematories in Erie County.
All right. By the way, the net,
Those are Chautauqua. Oh, maybe.
this still shows a net in the papers of 49,400, and I think that's wrong, right? It's just an error.
It doesn't deduct the repayment of the PM loan.
Right, that's right.
Right, okay.
So otherwise,
I mean, your write-up was correct, the fiscal, but in the recitation, it still showed that.
But the, I mean, that's,
yeah, the only positive from this, just to be clear, is the 10% that goes into PM from every sale. So the expenses eat up all the rest of the income.
remember, contributing the PM here, you know, if you were to develop a new section and you'd have the 10% additional contributions, you have more to maintain over time, so maybe there's a little less bang for your buck. This is a prefab columbarium unit.
Yep.
So that 10% is really almost pure quote-unquote profit to the PM.
And there's no maintenance on this.
There's essentially no maintenance.
Right.
Power
Well-
wash it every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, you do, one of the expenses that you list is $1,000 a year for, does it have to describe, annual cost to maintain the columbarium. I was wondering about.
That's probably way high.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
they're
there
power
might be-
washing it.
Yeah.
And that cost is the cost of their labor that they already are employed.
They're maintaining
Yeah, so I don't-
around it.
I'm not even sure, yeah,
I
that's a
doubt-
good point, Tony.
It's actually probably less than if it were, 3 graves with headstones.
Well, that's the
It's
plus.
probably less than doing nothing, actually.
Right.
The maintenance of leaving it alone is probably more than building it.
If instead of putting a columbarium there, probably 6 graves, something like that. If they had 6 graves with headstones that they had to mow and trim around, it would probably be more maintenance cost
Yes.
than the columbarium.
I mean, remember, Western New York is a higher cremation rate than the rest of the than here in South.
By the way, what did they do in columbarium sales in 2016? I see it's still blank on the,
It's because, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, because they didn't break it out between columbariums and
We just started breaking that out.
it was just all lots lumped together.
well, no, you have a separate thing for columbarium sales in 14 and 15.
We reconstructed that, didn't we?
Their bookkeeper, they have a new bookkeeper, right?
Yes.
Remember?
Is that it? Is
That's-
that the discussion?
Yeah, if you look at, there's a lot of
All right.
changes between 16 and the prior
Okay.
years. Things got lumped together, things weren't properly reported. Hopefully, you guys are going to work with this new person to straighten things
I think Karen already is.
Oh, look, all right.
In
So,
terms of pricing, I was just looking at they're bringing in per inscription price of $260, but they're saying the expense is $240. So that tells me they're hiring out the inscription part. You're only making $20 every inscription. I mean, I think there's room to.
Depending on what the market will be.
Right.
well, the application
Yeah.
before us, what it is, with the prices that they put forth.
Joe, was there any discussion about changing their investments?
No. They're pretty conservative.
Yeah.
They like CDs.
What do you find in looking at other cemeteries? Are they beginning to change their investments and get out of
And
it?
most of them will go into bond funds or treasury bonds or something like that, so. But they trust CDs. That's all they want to go in.
And we wouldn't want trustees investing in investment opportunities that they don't understand.
What's the payback period now?
10 years.
And what do they have left over after the payback?
What's going to go into the PM fund?
Yeah.
About $9,600.
Well, look, it's a service to the community. That's separate and apart from the fiscal analysis. It's not hurtful. The cemetery seems to be a going concern. It's not going to fold in 10 years, right?
No.
No. All right, so I think we can rely upon the sales continuing and the cemetery continuing. But, you know, it's one of those things that I can go either way on. What's the board think?
I think it's a good idea. I think we should approve it.
Okay. Paul, anything?
No objection.
All right. Motion?
I'll move to approve the application of Willowbrook Park for a new columbarium.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
By the skin of a niche. Okay.
I didn't know niches had.
All right. Holland Patton Cemetery wishes to.
That is tabled.
Oh, it's tabled.
We need to, it's a certificate of incorporation issue, and we need to get comments from corporations as well as from Tony.
Good,
Tony
okay.
Thomas.
I assume you referred it to Gary. All right, very good. Ferncliff Cemetery.
All right, so Ferncliff's almost out of lawn crypts in its current lawn crypt section. It's going to need some more. It's in a section nearest to the top of a hill, not quite all the way at the top. And there isn't really anything right up there right now, so I don't think anyone's going to be upset at this. Plus, unfortunately, I did not include the pictures, and I took some photos of their existing layout in my when I was there, and the way these are laid out is it's very nicely landscaped. There's flowers, there's nice paths, there's a little niche type units in between the crypts.
Well, I noticed you also stated that the erection of the structure would actually improve, or the crypts would actually improve the looks of the land.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I note that they had 51 of these in 2011, and they're just about sold out.
Yep, we have
Already?
2, 4.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
And I got all the required engineering calculations, and they all look fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
What
how
you got?
much are the directors getting paid? $144,251. How many directors are there?
You got me on that one.
is Ferncliff here?
They are here.
Yeah. You want to, hey, hi, how you doing? Hi.
We have 8 directors.
And you are?
Philip Passion, I'm the president.
Phil, nice, thanks for coming. Okay.
We have-
You might want to speak up, sir, just so that it's.
There are currently 8 directors with 6 lieutenants.
And
The director's fees also include all of the different committee fees. So there's a board retainer, there's investment committee fees, water committee fees, development committee fees, that's all incorporated into the overall cost.
so the independent ones are the only ones being paid?
That's correct.
I have no other questions.
Yeah, it's a remarkably successful cemetery with a very strong application, so I had no problems with it.
Even though Judy Garland has left town.
Have a motion?
I'll move to approve the application of Ferncliff Cemetery for the installation of additional lawn crypts.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. Well, that concludes what we have on for the public agenda. So at this time, I'll open the floor up to anybody who'd like to make a comment or otherwise have some discussion with us. None? None today? Oh my God, it's Friday. We're going to do Fridays from now on. That's great. Not that I don't want to hear from you, Dave, but okay. All righty, so having no comments from the floor, let's schedule the next board meeting.
So it should be a Friday?
No.
This is gonna be a rough one for me. I'm on vacation the last 2 weeks in August, and
I might be as well.
And the Cremation Association's convention is the previous week to that, so I couldn't do the Wednesday or Thursday of that or Friday of that week. Which leaves us the meeting less than 2 weeks. I think that leaves us the meeting less than 2 weeks from now. or you do it when I'm out.
Are you gonna have sufficient agenda 2 weeks from now, or?
We could have Holland Patent, and I'm not sure what else. I mean,
Then we don't, I mean,
but we have to meet by statute.
you have, yes, we do. You
Oh,
have,
we
you
have to
have.
meet once a
Mr.
month?
Who can help you?
Required by
Yep.
statute.
But I thought you
Your
were one of
calendar
those.
month?
Huh?
There will
I
be
might be,
some
but
hazardous
I can always find it.
There'll be some hazardous monuments, and we can get, Susie, what's it, Southampton. There are
right.
also Pine Lawns lawn clips might be ready by then.
All right, so we have an agenda. So, set a date.
If you were to do it on the 29th or 30th of August, I could, especially on the 30th, I probably could call in if I needed to.
I was just concerned as if the board had to not be able to make it, you wouldn't be able to reschedule.
No, that's true. Don't do it then.
Yeah, it makes me. All right, just schedule.
So
just
when you
schedule.
guys all free, ignore me.
We'll ignore you. We usually do anyway.
I figure as much.
So when are you starting here? Your vacation?
The 21st.
Okay.
The problem is the 16th and 17th and 18th are the Cana Convention.
Yeah, okay.
Cremation Association of North America.
The what again? Which dates?
So the last date I could do a meeting is the 15th.
So,
Which I guess is still
what
3
about the
weeks
next
from
middle
now.
of the month? Yeah, that's okay.
So let's do the 15th.
Yeah, anybody? 15th
Oh,
okay?
God, wait, do I have something on that day?
Not anymore.
No, I might. Let me look. Even if I do, it's what I have on is in the afternoon in Rockland. I could probably participate by phone. even
Yeah,
if
that'd
I
be
couldn't
fine.
physically come up.
Okay.
Let me just double check that, okay? I didn't bring my personal phone, so I don't have my calendar. This one doesn't have everything. The date is. Oh, sorry. Everybody else is good that day?
Yeah.
Give me a sec, I will tell you.
We're getting older, though.
Sorry, this thing is.
Oh, we could do it Monday.
I think.
I could. One of those two works. I just don't remember which one.
One of what?
One of
All right,
those two dates.
let's, okay. Let's set it for the
They
15th.
both work.
Let's set.
They both work for everyone.
Oh, what's the other one? The 11th?
14th.
That's a Monday.
All right, so the 14th of the. Oh,
Let's set it for the 15th. If for some reason that doesn't work, you can push it back to the 14th.
fine. Sounds good. Okay.
I can't
So
find the. I can't
15th
find
at
the date.
10:30.
Yep.
Square.
Very good. Okay. So,
What is the ship? 15? I'm going to ship one at 11.
all righty. So we'll take a 5-minute break, but before that time, I'll make a motion to go into executive session for investigative and litigative matters. Second?
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 5 minutes and back to the grindstone.
Let's talk about our thing first, because executive session might take a while. Sorry. We only have one. The good news is we only have one thing on for it. Yes, sir.
See you again.
Tony, Tony, what happened with that one, where you guys were gonna meet with everybody had the same name? Forget the name of the cemetery.
Shippers, Beverly Hills Cemetery,
Yeah, what was it?
Shipper family.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
What was the name of the cemetery?
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever do
They
anything?
withdrew at our recommendation because we said either you withdraw this or we'll take it the way it is, or you amend it and we'll just take your amendment the way it is without any more of this back and forth. And they just withdrew. And we haven't heard. I haven't heard since. I don't know if Lewis has.
Yeah. I figured, what
Doesn't mean it won't come back.
right, what did they wanna do?
They wanted to buy well, how many acres was it?
It was like
40
some
acres?
40 ridiculous acres.
Yeah.
For themselves.
Yeah.
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 It was a
They were gonna
huge
s-
project.
They were gonna
millions of
sell
dollars.
and buy or something?
There was a little piece that they were gonna give back to the town,
yeah.
I think.
Which was, I'm not even sure the town wanted it. That was just something they were
Yeah.
playing with.
Well, they had a good deal going. Why would they do
You're
anything?
recording, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, we should move that.
is the,
We've had a motion to exit executive session. I'll second. All in favor, or you third, or I'll third, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great stuff, thank you. And,
And a motion to adjourn. I did.
yeah, and motion to adjourn.
Oh, it's
That was the
supposed to be
motion.
on?
No, he's got